Welcome back. I hope everybody's doing absolutely amazing, because today in Cooking with Tammy, I'm going to show you how to put a spin on an old school recipe, okay? This recipe is referred to as chicken gloria, aka chicken casserole, in my opinion. However, like I said, we're going to put a spin on this delicious recipe by incorporating maybe one or two additional ingredients. Let's introduce these ingredients and get to cooking. First on up, guys, we are going to need mushrooms for this delicious dish. However, if you're not a fan of mushrooms, maybe you could leave it out. I'm not sure. But I've always had my chicken gloria with mushrooms, all right? Feel free to use any type of mushrooms. We're also going to need some salt, ground black pepper, minced garlic, diced onions, butter, oil, chicken broth, sherry wine. However, as we're cooking, I'm going to tell you a substitute for the sherry wine if you want to use something else. We're also going to need some of my all-purpose chicken seasoning. However, if you don't have that, just use some all-purpose seasoning, along with chicken broth, half and half, all-purpose flour, Munster cheese, yes, last but not least, the star of the show, our chicken breast. So without further ado, let's get to cooking. First thing you want to do to clean chicken breast. How do you clean your chicken breast, Tammy? Simple. All we got to do is add some cold water to a large bowl. We're going to add some salt along with lemon juice or lime. You don't have to use the lemon juice or lime if you don't have it on hand, but salt water at least. All right, once you're done, you're going to take it, massage the chicken in your hands, obviously, and rinse any impurities off of the chicken, followed by re-rinsing with cold water. At this point in time, we're just going to cut our chicken breast in half. We're going to slice it lengthwise, just like that. And for this dish, unless you prefer, the chicken, just going to cut the fatty piece off. The chicken doesn't have to be large-sized chicken breast unless you're feeding, like, obviously a large family. You can rock out with small chicken breast. Get out of here. We're going to slice this last chicken breast in half as well. Make sure your knife is sharp. It makes the job a lot more easier. I'm going to hit you with the quick recipes, but they're going to be holiday worthy, so don't worry. We're going to introduce some oil to our chicken breast, just a small drizzle. I want our seasoning to adhere to the chicken, of course. Just going to take our hands, massage the oil onto the chicken, flip it on over, do the same thing. Take some of the oil from the other chicken breast. This recipe is going to be so simple. Even our kids, if we do have kids, are going to be able to replicate this recipe. Nothing complicated, but yet absolutely delicious. All right, we're going to take our salt and pepper, just mix it on up like this. We're going to add some salt and pepper to our chicken. All-purpose Cooking with Tammy chicken seasoning. As I always say, this chicken seasoning could be used for anything. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be poultry. We're going to flip our chicken on over. But first, let's just pat the seasoning on in. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm like super excited to get this recipe out to you guys. Salt and pepper. Chicken seasoning, or should I say all-purpose seasoning. Boom, boom. Let's pat that on in as well. In the meanwhile, our pan should be nice and hot, or at least getting hot. We're going to take some flour and we're going to dredge our chicken. A light coat is perfect. We don't need to go all in with a lot of flour. Not necessary. Light dredge. Shake it off. Coat the other side as well. Once you're done, just place it to the side. Who remembers the old paper bag method for dredging your seafood and your chicken, right? Those were the days. Now you could barely get your hands on a paper bag, let alone a plastic bag. Crazy. Anyway, our chicken is done. That's it. All right. As you can see, like I said before, light coating, nothing heavy. Simply because we don't want to weigh the chicken down. All right. Anyway, let's make our way over to the skillet. For this job, I'm going to be using my cast iron skillet. And I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of oil. We're not going to be searing the chicken. We're just going to be browning the chicken on up. I'm going to place the chicken down into the skillet. We're going to be browning up 6 pieces of chicken, so I don't expect all of the pieces to fit inside of the pan. However, we are going to fry the chicken up in batches. Alrighty, let's flip the chicken on over and check it on out. Absolutely beautiful. Golden brown, smells amazing. Now, I know there's a lot of us out there always asking for like the timing, all right? So I allowed the chicken to fry on the first side, as you saw, for about 4 minutes. We're going to allow the other side to fry on up for another 4 minutes as well. However, to assure that the chicken is cooked all the way through, I would suggest that you invest in a, you know what I'm going to say. You know exactly what I'm going to say. A thermometer. That's the only way to definitely make sure that your produce, not your produce, but your poultry and your meats are cooked all the way through or to your desired preference. So remember what I said. Make sure you invest in that thermometer. Anyway, we're about to fry the second batch on up. We're going to do this off camera and we're going to come back when everything is done. We're going to lower the flame to low medium at this point in time, simply because our cast iron skillet is already hot and we don't want to burn our butter. At this time, we're going to go in with our onions, along with our mushrooms. Add as many or as little mushrooms as you prefer. Give everything a quick toss. Make sure everything is perfectly and well combined. When it comes to cooking and sauteing the mushrooms, they're going to release a lot of water. We don't need all of that water. So we want to cook the mushrooms until most of the water is dried out from the pan. To amp these flavors on up, we're going to add some of your Girl Cooking with Tammy's all-purpose seasoning. However, feel free to add whatever all-purpose seasoning you have on hand. But remember, if it does contain salt, add a small amount, because a small amount goes a far way. Once your mushrooms and onions look like this, we're going to spoon it on top of the chicken. All of this delicious flavor. To the same pan, if you need to add a little bit more oil, you definitely can, or even a little bit more butter, you definitely can. We're going to add our flour, and we're just going to whisk our flour into the oil. We're going to cook our flour for about a minute, because of course we want to get rid of that floury taste. Pan is a little dry, so as you can see, I'm adding a little oil. After cooking the flour for about a minute or two, we're going to add some sherry wine to this delicious mix. Yes. Now, substitutions. You could definitely substitute with using Madeira or Marsala wine. And if you're not into the wine, of course, you can always substitute with adding a little bit more broth. I'm also going to add some chicken broth as well. Stir that in really, really good. Even though it may present itself as looking a little clumpy right now, I can guarantee by the time we're finished, this sauce is going to be nice and smooth. Add our heavy cream, because we want this sauce to be what? Nice and creamy. We're just going to stir it on in. Once your sauce begins to bubble, we can go in and turn the stovetop off. We don't have to reduce it anymore. We're going to take this luscious sauce and we're going to pour it onto our chicken. This delicious creamy, oh, this is good. Let's get this creamy goodness, ooh, all over the chicken. This is going to be so delicious. Not to mention, did I forget to tell you, quick and easy. All right, just when we thought it couldn't get any better, right? We're going to take our Munster cheese and we're going to layer our cheese. If we got to cut the cheese, no problem, because as you can see, this is like an oval shaped casserole dish. But nevertheless, we are going to layer our cheese onto the sauce and the chicken. And even if it overlaps, even better. That just means you're going to have more melty goodness. Add as little or as much cheese as you prefer. Cover all surface areas. You're going to sprinkle on, of course, some parsley. We're going to place our chicken Gloria into the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Allow the cheese to melt and become nice and bubbly. I want to say that's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to turn the broiler up just a little bit for the cheese to become even more nice and melted and bubbly and have those nice little brown crispy edges. And guess what, guys? That's it. After that, it is time to dig on in and get to eating. As you can see, this right here is absolutely beautiful. And guess what? It took literally no time to prepare. Woo, this is gorgeous. As always, I'm your girl Cooking with Tammy, and I will definitely catch you guys in another video.